What is the fastest way you've seen someone get fired? New person got access to medical records system. Week 2, looked up our boss and bragged about it. Was walked out and gone the second week. My first job was in a small grocery store and my boss asked a coworker to do the dishes in the bakery, making pens etc. She replied, I only do my own dishes, somebody else put this here so I'm not doing them. I'm serious, fire me if you want, I won't do them. Boss says, okay then, don't bother finishing your shift, goodbye. First day on the job, gave another coworker a wet willy, shit you know. First day at work, hired by a temp agency. Me and one other guy, we put stuff in boxes and tape them shut. Stack boxes on a pallet. He can't keep up, he can barely use the tape gun and decides it's time for a break. Goes to lunchroom and takes lunch. It was the boss's lunch, he stole the guy's meal his wife prepared for him. Boss man came over 15 minutes later and wants to know who ate his barbecue. Sticky fingers and barbecue on his shirt and he denies it. I just look at him and the boss and said, well, I hope it was good man. Had a coworker explain to our supervisor how he found this great loophole for making extra money. If a customer had exact change, he just pocketed the cash and canceled the order on the register. Worked at an ISP back in the 90s and had a guy working late shift. Found out quickly he wasn't answering the phone at all, but just playing video games. He was warned. Next day he walks into work with a Voodoo 2 graphics card to install in his work computer to improve the game playing. Fired before he sat down. A colleague let a middle school kid drive the bus. Bye bye. New IT guy at a small 20 employees newspaper I worked at. I showed up early and opened the office. New IT guy showed up next for his shift. He was totally, utterly drunk off his tits, lurching, stumbling, reeking, giggling, slurring at 8:15 AM, way beyond hangover. Confessed that he had a couple drinks last night to celebrate his new job. Managing editor came in and paged IT guy in his office to talk about the job. I hadn't said a word to anyone about him, gave him enough rope and all that. He was finished by 9:15. I walked home through downtown around 5 o'clock that afternoon. Ran into IT guy outside one of those old man dive bars. He was maybe 28. He was all fucked up again. Told me he'd had a couple of drinks to mourn the loss of his new job. Don't remember his proper name. I'd like to find his LinkedIn to see what became of him. I worked at the head office of a well-known retailer. One day we had a temp on the reception desk and no one realized that a bottle of water on her desk was, well, not water. As the day went on at Hanoi, announcements got worse, just stumbling through names and slurring. Needless to say, everyone thought it was funny, not realizing that she was bladdered and not just crap at the job. Come the end of the day though, she gets into her car and attempts to drive out of the car park, bouncing off cars and eventually coming to a halt on a grass verge. Spicy water. Got yelled at for being late. Said some insane shit to the boss over it, got sent to talk with HR, threatened HR with a gun, then the police showed up and I never saw him again. You'll never guess what career he really wanted but got scammed out of. I did the firing. I was sous chef of a large reception hall, meaning serving food to hundreds and hundreds of guests. One party had a big seafood display, shrimp, oysters, crab legs and vodka, all in giant decorative box of ice. When that portion of dinner service was finished, 2 new waiters were tasked with returning the big ice box plus leftovers to the kitchen and dish pit. They dumped the ice back into the ice machine. They contaminated ice. It even had some discarded shells. I saw it happen. I had to show them the door immediately and have a serious talk with their head waiter. They lasted 2 hours, tops. Those idiots could have killed someone. Imagine you have a severe shellfish allergy and the ice on your glass of water is lethal. First day at work for this new dude. We pick him up at 7 o'clock AM. He hops into the car and goes, ah jeez, when are we finishing work today? I'm beat. Can you guys buy me a pack of cigarettes? Oh, and just so you know, I only eat meat for lunch. And the boss stopped the car and told him to get out. It was like 7:03. I know a guy that lasted at a bar for about 3 days. There was a dive Irish bar specializing in bacon cheeseburgers. He was dishwasher, bar bag, something. They told him he would have as much free bacon as he wanted. I'm sure assuming he would take a piece here and there throughout shift. Day 2 or 3 he eats 3 pounds of bacon to his face and pukes everywhere. Fucking idiot. Hired a bunch for temp workers for data entry. Friday, young woman 21 plus years old to work for this agency. No shows to work. So I called temp agency and they said a replacement at noon. Monday morning, the young woman shows up and tells me that Friday her friends were going to the beach and she thought it was unfair that they had day off while she had to work, so she skipped. That is a real quote, skipped, like ditching school. Told her she was already fired on Friday to go home. Then she says her mom dropped her off and she had not ride till 5 PM in a city, so there was public transport available. Told her, sorry, in adult world you have to clean up your own messes, bye. A kid from my high school got hired and on his first day during orientation he was making posts all day. Went something like, first day of orientation, let's go! This is light work. Orientation is boring, someone texts me. Wow, they fired me on my first day for being on my phone. That's crazy. And have you seen someone getting fired in no time? Tell us below in the comments.